다르겠지만.
This one seems like quite the opposite, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, it's a unity story for sure. It's an example for I think a lot of people watching from home right now. It's like, wait a second, these
자,
guys have only
이제
been playing for 2
여러분
years. That means
이
that they in 2
채팅창에는
years
각종
time
안과 의사들이 나올
have a
시간입니다.
chance.
안과
being
의사,
on the main stage,
그다음에
but for now,
안경사,
it is
또
all
렌즈집
Team Spirit and
주인님들
PSG
많이 나오실
LGD,
거예요.
and they're ready
예.
for Game 4.
가끔 보면은 우리 뭐 회원들 중에 의사가 한 500명은 있는 것 같아.
LGD Grand Finals Game 4.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the draft panel of the TI-10 Grand Finals, again with Seb and Noto and myself. And I want to ask you guys, how important do you think that victory was for LGD? Like, how is it going to affect their mental game?
It's massive for them, of course. They have no more room to fail. Whereas Team Spirit, they might get a super challenge coming their way if they don't close it out now. They're going to have to go into a game 5, same position. You have no more losses to take. So for LGD, they need to get as much confidence and as much freedom so that they can be themselves again, or like their full potential. Mega important victory, of course. If you lose, you're out. But mentally, they need to take something from this. I think we saw a little bit of a better body language, if I want to go that far, and say that they do look like they feel better.
Now we see the switch up, and we were talking about it before the draft started, right?
Yep.
LGD broke Team Spirit Magnus, and I think they broke it in a very convincing way. And now the question was, so the second pick won all 3 games, and both teams kind of realized second pick works better. So far, this can still change. Team Spirit got the choice, which is a very big deal. It's probably not going to decide the outcome of the game, but it gives them definitely an upper hand. And now with this first pick, LGD, they had to choose. Do we want a mag, or do we want to give them mag and play against it? And then if you do that, mainly the Rubik was the big counter, right? And Team Spirit, they actually decide to not go for the Rubik versus the mag. They end up going for the Wyvern, which so far has been one of the best answers to Tiny. Nevertheless, though, in this opener, Tiny is banned, and they go for the Wyvern anyway. So, yeah, I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how they cope with this Magnus, because I don't think the Wyvern quite does it.
Is there a reason you think they banned Dark Willow over the Wyvern? Because in the previous 2 games, I think LGD had been banning Wyvern. I mean, Seb, you even mentioned to me, you thought maybe the Wyvern ban was a mistake.
Yeah.
But in my head, if you're going for Magnus first pick, Wyvern seems like a better ban than Willow.
I think so. At the same time, I think both bans, to be honest, I want to say I'm not a fan of the Willow ban, but then I'm just going to go with I don't quite understand it. I think I'm just missing something. Yeah.
I think the Willow ban will also help them do the Shifter more second phase if they want. I mean, it's a bird they're also very familiar with. I think the Bramble value is still there. I don't know if it's worth a ban either. I think there are some very powerful game-changing bans that shouldn't be overlooked, but Wyvern might be a very high-rated hero. It should be higher rated than some teams maybe give it credit for, statistically speaking. He's won a lot of games here, and it is a classic mag counter to at least a classic mag gameplay, but still the Skewer play is very strong, and we saw it addressed last game, where the Rubik got a lot of good lifts on, and also the Shard lift eventually makes carries feel really safe against this. So yeah, let's see. And now the Lion is in already from the first phase. Also quite unconventional to open Vyvern Lion.
Yeah. And there's a lot to say about the Bane pick also, in my opinion. No doubt. Team Spirit, the Lion, they didn't get it the last games, and it has been a hero that worked really well for them.
What do you know?
The way they play, they play so well around vision. They always set up this Lion for great kind of Hex's fight. He starts to fight with Hex, and it's hard to stop it. I'm really surprised that the Tide didn't come for Team Spirit. I mean, it's one of Collapse's best heroes. Mars is out, Mag is out by being first picked by LGD, and then the third Collapse hero, which is much more than just a Collapse hero. Like Team Spirit, they play around it, they build around it so well. Is Tide. Tide is a counter to Magnus, and yet they don't go for it. Meaning, LGD might have had a second pick, like a second first pick. I think they have to. But if they don't, maybe it means they have a great answer to it, and Team Spirit knows it.
I think they're going to be banning out a lot. Right? They start with the Boom probably now, and I think that's also, you're not going to pick Mag or Tide yourself next phase. You're most likely going to ban it. You have a Bane and a Mag, right? Let's see. They don't ban it yet.
So the Boom ban versus Mag is a very simple concept. It's like you play a Mag lineup, you want to empower a guy, and you want that guy to just go ham, and of course, if he gets doomed, then the whole lineup doesn't make so much sense anymore. You kind of break the way they want to take the fights. I want to talk quickly just about the Bane versus Wyvern and Feeble. It counters Wyvern heal completely. Also, you know, like it's really good at catching Bane, catching heroes. I think it's just a very interesting hero versus Wyvern in terms of how he's gonna beat him on the lane, and also has great things to do in the game against him.
Move out.
They do ban Ember. Obviously, Ember Mag has been, Ember itself already has been a great combo, great hero at, you know, messing with the backline. Lion and Wyvern, they don't want to be messed with. If these supports are allowed to cast their spells, especially in the hands of such talented players as Miposhka and Mira, like, they will win the fight for them. So
I was expecting to see 3 sort of backline jump bans coming off from Team Spirit. I mean, I feel like Lion Wyvern, it's a bit vulnerable, so you have to like protect your supports with bans. I've always felt when I'm drafting that I don't like picking 2 supports like this, because then you're spending bans on picking supports. But do you think there's like to your knowledge, is there any reason to pick 2 supports like this instead of picking a quarter?
I think it's only if you're afraid that you're not gonna get them and you value them as so much that you need them. But in my opinion, it's very abusable, and I think LGD will take the bet, like will get the most out of them.
Interesting to note is ET has not been removed, right?
Yeah.
I think the Lion was also a potential answer to a Mag
Yes,
ET,
it is.
and they're also rushing it because it's most likely going to get banned next phase.
what
I'm
it
still
was.
very surprised that the Tide has not been banned.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Collapse is going to ask for this hero this game.
They must have like they must have an answer, LGD, right? I think if they don't ban it, they for sure know it's coming, or it could be coming. They must be ready for it. That's how I view it. Maybe they're planning on picking the Juggernaut already, or the
Jugger something,
Slarks.
but they're not in full control either, as Team Spirit do have a ban. They do have like kind of a way to dictate. They banned the Ursa.
But if you think about it, it doesn't sound so Team Spiritish to pick the mid or the carry here. Most likely they will pick Collapse. So maybe LGD is like, we don't have to worry about a closing second phase pick,
You're right. Yeah.
and that anyway they're gonna show it to us here.
That's thinking far ahead, which I'm sure they are. Like this double support opener is vulnerable, very vulnerable in that sense. That you still have to reveal, and they're able to get 2 really strong picks.
Never mind, they actually go for it, and that also is a statement from Team Spirit in which they maybe thought that the Spectre was the bigger problem last game versus the Rubik. You know, these were the answers. And this is exactly what I think should be done. This is precisely what should be done in a Mag versus Spectre game and in a Mag versus Rubik game. This Magnus does not want to RP anybody. He doesn't care about getting his blink cancelled. He doesn't care about getting blink at all. He does not want to skewer anybody. This Magnus is going to empower Luna. He's going to build more items. They're going to plant the tombstone. Luna's going to hit the buildings. And that is going to be the fight. And heroes like Spectre actually are probably the worst out of all the carry pool to deal with that. You have to fight into this massive ball that is coming, and Spectre hates that.
The only good thing that they have right now is the Winter's Curse. The Lion is disabled. Most of Iron spells are disabled. Like this playstyle versus playstyle heavily for now favors LGD heroes. Like these heroes on the bottom, they will not enjoy a strong ball coming to hit their tower.
So to make it very simple, basically what has happened in Game 3 and Game 4 draft is, you know, Spirit got their Magnus, LGD broke it, Spirit had to find another way to abuse the Magnus hero, and LGD now are showing how do you turn. They beat Magnus with Spectre, and they also showed them you can beat Spectre with Magnus, if you understand what's happening. And I think this draft is what's happening in a nutshell.
Do you think that Axe does anything to stop that plan? Because to me, Axe is very single target, you know, a bit lane focused almost.
I don't think he helps at all. I think this is a hero that does not jump into the ball unless something good is happening already from your teammates. Like they're running away from some Tinker, they're running away from a Phoenix Egg. They have none of that. Lion and Axe are both going to be waiting for LGD to be afraid or overwhelmed by some sort of damage ability or teamfight ability, but it's not coming so far. Like, I think Team Spirit need to find a really good pick right now. They need to find a really, really strong pick or something that allows them to then force LGD into their playstyle.
I'm always scared when I have the last pick though. Like if I have to last pick a hero that has to solve conditions and be good in lane and do so many things, like it's so hard to find that perfect pick, right?
It is hard.
Clearly it's 24 and not 23 especially then.
Yeah.
And he also is gonna have to deal with the one-on-one matchup that's gonna come his way in. So I wanna
Do you have the final?
Yeah, and the Kunkka. You see this ball,
Perfect.
like how do you fight into this? Honestly, it is so hard for heroes to fight into this, and they have literally 0 damage. The Spectre Axe is very low damage. This Axe is very low damage. They have no way.
Only on one finger. That's all the damage they have.
It's gonna be very difficult, and I wanna also mention the Undying versus Spectre. What he does is you plant the Tombstone, and now there's a zombie on every Illude, so there's no Desolate damage, meaning Spectre damage drops dramatically. In my opinion, I mean, I'm very happy to be proven wrong, and there's a reason why these teams are playing the finals and I'm not, but I still see this as being a strategical misread from Spirit.
That changes Dota.
So they're going for the lane snowball here, right? You want to get the TA timing, snowball off that. You have single target. Spectre, you can take control of the map, get a lot of pickoffs. I can see that as a possible answer, but it's looking scary for me.
They need to play.
snowball.
They need to play the TA game right now.
Yeah.
The TA is a very fast hero. He can go into roles early. He can snowball and get openings on the map with Dazzle Blink. I don't know if he's going to go Aghanim's this game so that they can actually do more on the map, but they cannot run into this ball and just click their spells. This is not going to work for Team Spirit.
Yeah, this is not a Spectre versus Magnus game anymore. Like, this is a TA game. They have to win on the back of it, and if they don't, then most likely the game's going to look quite good.
Or they go really late, the Spectre manages to break a lot of chaos. The TA game will create a lot of chaos, and Spectre will get bigger and become kind of like a team fight impact, and then maybe you're going to see Axe and Spectre and all these heroes actually come out and shine, but a lot of weight on TA's shoulders.
Yeah, LGD has really done a great job with this draft, in my opinion. I think the momentum right now has completely shifted. But yet again, Team Spirit, incredibly talented players, great laning team, great vision, great execution in team fights. They can pull this off. They definitely can.
Keep an eye on those traps.
And we're getting into game 4 now, but before that, we'll have an interview with Sumi and LGD's coach, Xiaowei.
Hello everybody, and I am here with PSG LGD's coach, Xiaoba. It seems that you and the team have managed to put a stop to the momentum of Team Spirit. How did you manage to keep the team calm and reset for this game?
你们把他们的势头止住了，你们是如何保持冷静，然后
Managed to keep the
我就跟他们说不要怕呀，输了一起扛呀，然后也没什么好怕的，因为就发挥好自己的，如果就万一就输了也没啥，就明年再干回来。
I told them don't be afraid. If we lose, we tank it together. And I've also told them that if we lose, we still have next year. Don't be afraid.
I love that confidence and that team, just that team synergy. The analysts think that you have managed to figure out Team Spirit's strategy. Do you think you have them figured out?
解说们都认为你们已经破解了 Spirit 的战术，你觉得你破解了他们战术吗？
我觉得前2把主要是一个是对面的战术我们比较不适应吧，然后我们自己准备的东西有点打他们不太适合，所以我们打完2把以后做出了调整，我觉得我们应该能拿冠军。
I think for the first 2 games, what we prepared doesn't really work against their style. But after the first 2 games, we've adjusted, and as long as we play our own game, I think we'll win the champion.
They will play their own game and also download complete. Thank you very much, Xiaoba. Let's take it to Lyrical and Trent.
And already right on into this one, Sumi Mira's gonna get caught and gonna get killed. How's that for a start, Trent?
Oh, such a good coach who just gets us there right in time. Well done, as his team will take first blood.
Very, very good start. Play their own game. That's what we're hearing right now from the coach. Xiaowei so often has been the one to be able to lead his team to success and Aegis himself, but we'll see if they can do it here again. As nothing to say why, they're all invading. Dude, LGD coming out with some confidence saying, this is our high ground, we're coming to take it.
And this is what you get when you keep coming back with this Undying, right? You're very willing to brawl right now.
So they are gonna stick around for a moment. Ame spotting out the rest of Team Spirit, moving in that area, getting that extra vision.
Yeah.
The passive, and will we see another round of Bounty Runes stolen away? Collapse walks on in. Why there? Gets the click-off win. So LGD, they're gonna claim 3.
Turns back for more. Wants the brain sap, but can't quite find it here. So yeah, another focus on the lanes for sure here from LGD, but the lanes also seeming to be the win condition right now for Team Spirit. I have to say, it's difficult to disagree when there's a combined 5, Aegis is won by that drafting panel.
True enough.
That's a bit rough. So I think they might be onto something for this whole concept of needing to snowball things pretty hard here, needing to play around their Templar Assassin. There's always a chance going late, of course, especially with the way the Templar Assassin now functions, or Aghanim's, where you can actually get a little bit of split push out of this hero, which you didn't used to get in the past. But you'd much rather be leading things ahead of the game right now for Team Spirit, and if they don't get that, they can easily do that with these heroes on the side of PSG LGD.
Totally. The snowball can definitely occur. And I really liked what we sort of heard about the mentality that was going on as well, as we see that Sega to D-Ward there on the Observer Ward. You think about the way the Team Spirit has played throughout this. They're playing, just for fun, they say. They're playing without any fear. But for some of these players, that's not an option. Ame, he's been so close before to winning the Aegis and then snatched away at the last second. This is a story for him for redemption.
Yeah, we often hear the pressure of the Chinese community on this team just because, you know, they've obviously looked so good and they've been so close before, and particularly Ame, he's shielded. You know, he's taken some of that blame before in the past, particularly at TI, particularly in a Game 4. You know, the pressure has been there, and it's been a bit much at times. But I have to say, after last game, I think he's probably pretty comfortable here with this Luna.
He's looked amazing in that Spectre game, so we'll see how they deal as Xingqiu was able to get that pull through and only get the half pull on these creeps connecting it. As Miposhka wants to keep that pressure on Xingqiu. Needs to be careful here. Obviously, only level 1, so doesn't have that Splinter Blast yet on the Wyvern. But they will throw out one more dagger on his way back home.
Just to send him all the way back here. And now, yeah, Collapse. So we talked a lot about Collapse and his hero pool. And of course, you've heard a lot, I'm sure, about the Mars. Heard a lot about this Magnus that's looked pretty good. But the other hero that he has played a ton of games on professionally is the Axe. Not a hero that's been very big at this TI, though.
No, but can often make those huge plays if you can get the opening. The panel did talk a lot about how maybe there's going to be some overlapping things going on with Mira and the Axe, both trying to find that big jump.
That Seb guy? Oh,
yeah.
That's that guy!
Yeah, that's the
with
one.
The Axe, wow.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
We'll see how it goes here in this one. As you can see already, the chase down Faith Beyond taking a little bit of a beating here on this Magnus. He moves into position though, and at least for the moment, you can see that Spectre taking a little bit of heat early. Not able to get all those last hits yet. Collapse also trying to go toe-to-toe with Ame in the bottom lane on that Luna.
Yeah, there's a reason that statistically Undying has almost always been one of the actual best heroes versus the Spectre. Where you're just talking about just raw data in terms of games played. And that's because like you get some pressure in lane sometimes when you get this sort of a matchup. That's always nice, right? Spectre likes to be left alone. But more importantly, when you get into the mid game with the Tombstone drop down, you actually get all these zombies popping up. Right, and it really ruins the team fight for the Spectre, especially when you're trying to deal some damage there with the Deathblade.
You can see a bit of a rundown again as Toro playing as far forward as he can, but has to be very wary of those skewer backs that we've seen time and again is why we got a little bit of a chase onto Mira. Elusive Beam and dead. I just takes him down.
Collapse just can't do anything. Just like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm just going for some creeps here. Does have 20 last hits compared to the 9 of Ame, so you know, I mean, that's a sacrifice that you're willing to make.
Hitting pretty hard. Already the Ring of Health done. Obviously came there with that Quelling Blade and a lot of armor. Collapse having a good one on the Axe in the laning stage. This is what they need.
That is actually a really interesting one too, right? Actually going for this this Vanguard. Because, you know, a lot of heroes, they're going for the Helm. They're building into something else based off of the Helm, the Iron Will. Collapse able to go for this cheaper Vanguard, but for Axe, that's an item that can actually accelerate your farm quite a bit with the Ancients.
Why? Get chased a little bit there, but will back out afterwards. And you can see at least now the very slight lead that we're seeing into the favor of LGD. Nothing really to write home about. Both the mids doing fine. We haven't really seen either that many stacks on the Ancients. None done up yet as some good damage there out on the Bane. Gonna chase down Elusive Beam. Will it be enough? I don't think so. Why? Oh, maybe it will. All right, the rotation comes in. Maybe able to keep their Bane alive.
Yeah, he was buying out there. He wasn't sure he was going to live, so he's going to run all the way home. But there are the stacks that you were just mentioning. A double done there by Miposhka in the Dire jungle. So something for this Templar Assassin to fall back to. They want to stack her up nice and early. When you're trying to play around this Templar Assassin, you can stack your Ancients, you can stack all of your neutrals across the map, and she can cleave through them very, very quickly. Just trying to align these earlier items like the Plague or the Deso. Maybe a Falcon Blade in these times right now. So they need to enable her to get this game online.
Yeah, and of course, then if you're LGD, you're going to want to try and go in there and invade those stacks and get some damage dealt. But already, a Torrent combo comes out. Y makes that move towards the mid lane that he always does. And just trying to burn through his refractions. Make Toronto Tokyo a little bit less comfortable.
Yeah, not a matchup we see all too often, honestly, with the Kunkka and the Templar, but you do have that interaction, as you're mentioning, where you can get multiple instances of damage from the Torrent, so burning through that, and, well, Toronto Tokyo, you can come take a look here and say, oh, yeah. Nicely done. They can stack this up one more time.
And Mira also stacks all across the map.
What I really like too is this defensive ward that they have right next to that stack they're doing, because you often see this ward used like linking when you're talking about like Roche and everything, you're trying to cover that, but a lot of teams are coming in contesting neutral stacks right now. It's one of the themes of this tournament is up top. That's another good theme.
Toro, is he gonna live though? With the cold embrace, they don't feel confident going for him.
On the level 6 rotation from the Kunkka, very disappointing to not get the kill, and they can't even really follow up the tower pressure, but on the other side of the map.
Collapse. Gonna take some damage there. Creeps run off of him. And with a couple quick hits, will they have another Lucent Beam for the finish? Vanguard keeping him very tanky. Actually goes away for the spin. Has to be careful on Y. There's the Fairy Fire living, but the brain sap. Enough to finish him.
I can tell you, this guy must not have got very many Crimson Witnesses, because he is not lucky.
No. Not enough spins there for the Axe, and a good usage of the Nightmare to take those creeps off to stop the potential counterplay.
Well, they get their kill in the bottom lane, but the missed gank on the Spectre gave so much free time to Toronto Tokyo. Because again, another stack, and if you don't go for that kill, the other option for the Kunkka is moving through that jungle, doing that rotation, checking out the stack, seeing what's there, maybe stealing a couple, of course. And yeah, will surely make his way over there. I think we'd like to maybe get an eye on these ones at the very least. We'll block for future stacks, but can they even come and contest this?
There's already a lot of gold built into that. That's going to be such a big injection. And the thing about the TA is you just take it so quickly. Maybe if they pair together with Collapse, already having that Vanguard done.
Yeah, it's a tough call too, right? Like, because if you want to move in there, let's say, SPSG, LGD, you have the night vision bonus. That's there, right? Of course, that's going to be expiring soon. You got 2.5 minutes to work with. You're not going to have any Eclipse early though, because you're obviously stacking into Lunar Blessing, you're getting yourself through Glaives. You also have Undying, you have Kunkka. I would say it's very tempting for them to come and contest this and at least like try and mess with them to try and get some of the XP.
Well, they're going to drop the boat already. Mira a little bit off the mark with the stun, but will eventually, well, go down, yes. Xingqiu finds the kill, but this is again buying that space for Toronto Tokyo, and this is Envision.
Soul Rip to secure here, and Xingqiu is like, I'm getting over, I want to steal some of this. Gonna find a stacked up neutral camp there too.
This is just all they're focused on.
Here's Tombstone in 3 seconds.
Why? Are they really going to go for this?
I mean, a lot of them are really low. This is pretty, I say do it. Yeah.
He goes for it. Getting a couple already.
And the Fairy's stringing for the team. The 2 supports. There's an Axe and a Templar Assassin.
Oh my god, they're just going to get him.
There's another lanes.
That's the right of it.
I mean, this is huge. You're also already up 3,000 net worth right now on LGD when they see this taken, and
all right, you got a lot of them though. Now, can you get out? That's the question.
I mean, at least one of these heroes is going to die. Xingqiu chased on. Surely at least one of them goes down, but maybe not. Toro pops out that haunt. The chase down Mira's there as well. Cold Embrace. The back away. They used haunt for this, and I don't know if they're getting anybody.
Is there anything more classic than LGD and their Undying and their phase boots though?
Oh,
like it all
man. And they clean out that hard camp also. LGD are all over this. They take down the Undying, but lose out on a bunch of other net worth.
And they force so many heroes to respond. Look at the top lane. Yeah. The Dominator, Fake Beyond. He's taking the tower.
This is clean stuff. LGD, they found their mojo. This is what they needed.
That is a large lead. 4K right now at 9 minutes. Like, yeah, look where it is. I mean, it's just all stacked on the cores right now for PSG LGD.
Scouting out. Y off to the side. Toro there as well.
He's hunting.
He's looking for it. They move over. Faith Beyond's here as well. And with this Helm of the Dominator creep, it should be enough. And also coming in to contest this, nothing to say.
Well, it's
taking away the jungle.
It's so cheap, right? It's just a nightmare into a torrent. They're threatening the whole time. We've got RP. We've got boat. You don't want to come contest this. They're going to have Fiend's Grip pretty soon here as well for Y. As he goes for a real deep ward. That was pinged though. All right, yeah, they have an idea that that's there.
That ward is going to scout it out.
Good thing that was there. So those very deep wards on the earlier end will be instantly TP'd to by Mkoshka. I don't think so.
Yeah, see, this is the LGD we expected to see. Up 5,000 net worth right now at 10 minutes in. What a turnaround that they've been able to have.
Towards victory.
As this series was looking dire straits for them after the first 2 games, but now coming into this, game number 4, everything's going their way.
All right, well, in the past, what has turned these games around for Team Spirit has been Collapse. Showing up, making the plays, but he's got some time. Wants to get that Blink Dagger done on the Axe first. In the meantime, there are a lot of heroes coming to his mid-tower.
Oh my god, they're bringing numbers. Everybody's here. Poshka, level 5 on that Wyvern, going to try and throw out these Splinter Blasts and slow things down as much as possible, but that tier 1 tower is already dead.
Yeah, they're just holding the Tombstone. Again, such a great job of just like not expending anything, right? They're just threatening. They're just holding all this strength.
And Collapse, they caught him again. The Nightmare's there. Do they have enough for the kill, though?
Oh, yeah.
They are going to chase him down. Wait for it. Fiend's Grip afterwards. Easy as pie. They take him down.
Tower is under attack.
This is a stomping we got right here.
Your bottom tower has
Oro's going to need to play his heart out right now.
He is so far behind on it.
It's insane.
He's almost getting doubled up on right now.
Like, the Undying is almost caught up to him in terms of net worth with that Tombstone drop and then the Ancient Steel. Such an impressive performance for them in Team Spirit. They just really don't have an answer right now.
It felt like they got lost halfway through the draft and they still haven't found their way.
Well, and you think about that draft, right? They burned through so much of that reserve time early on. And in the end, we're left trying to find a perfect hero, and so far the TA hasn't been able to do it for him.
Part of that is just that it's such a one-dimensional plan that not only can you like prepare during the draft is what to do, but in the actual game, like they were so quick to come in and ward up these Ancients. Sure, they missed out on some of the plays in the top of some of those neutrals, but the contest in there, the space made for Faith Beyond to get absolutely massive. No one is even contesting Ame at all. Just freeform throughout the jungle. And this has to be like the biggest Axe Blink reveal and Deso reveal on a TA of all time.
They've got to get a ton here on the Spirit. Of course, that also means that LGD need to be the ones that run into them to allow for that fight to happen. Not an easy ask, but again, you've got some big combos here, right? You've got that Winter's Curse into a big call, afterwards Lion Stun. The combo is there if they can find it.
The fights are so hard though.
Looking for it right at the start. The boat's going to come out. And now the slowdown. Mira in some trouble. Collapse back behind the tower. Also getting ran down by nothing to say. He needs to TP out of here.
He bought his blink.
Yeah,
no one else died.
As long as they're able to get away, that should be good enough for them. So they get the kill. Faithion finds it, but also on the other side, Y kills off Mira. 8-1 to start this game.
Yeah, throws down a ward to secure the kill. Mira, of course, instantly noticing that, but I think Y's going to call it worth just to make the tower easy to take. But Poshka was thinking about leaving himself in behind there and maybe finding a Winter's Curse if they want to actually contest to the tower, but I think the call has been made but from the rest of Team Spirit that they're just not ready for that yet.
Need those items. Need to hit that timing.
7 kill lead, 7,000 gold lead. And Ame's still hitting creeps.
I mean, he's just doing what he needs to in this one. Taking a look already at that win probability. They're heavily into the favor of LGD.
Put that away. Oh, come on. We got a game going here.
My goodness gracious. The Nightmare is down. Poshka going to trade it over onto him. They have this blink. Want to reveal, but the only people down here are supports. And that's not big enough. Ward also covering it all. But maybe now Team Spirit can at least try and pressure and get this tower and get some momentum going for themselves, because if they don't get something going soon, this game is going to go completely off the rails.
I mean, you can already see them struggling here, though, right? Like, they're bringing everyone down here. They're looking for that fight.
Yeah.
Everything that they need has to be perfectly layered. The call, the curse, trying to find the sight lines for the Templar Assassin.
Oh, and Toro caught. Fiend's Grip is there, and no help nearby at all. They're going to kill off that Spectre.
I love ZQ doing that, just dropping the Tombstone. It's just such an important kill for them that they're willing to throw in everything that they have right there.
And immediately afterwards, they're thinking about going to Roche. I mean, why not at this point?
They could Roche, they could start pressuring that tier 2 top, but the tier 2 top is a lot riskier, right? If you're going to have this attempted call from the Axe. Also, they actually don't have great vision right now onto that high ground, so theoretically, if there was something there from Team Spirit, maybe they'd have a chance, but perhaps they just have the really good read that they are all on the bottom lane right now, waiting for them to come to that bottom tower. And it's taken so fast.
So Roche gonna be claimed, and again, Team Spirit needing to find an answer as LGD want to try and close this one out. Put themselves in a dominant position. Already Y is gonna head up here, try and get down a deep ward. We'll see if that one bears any fruit, as LGD will retreat back, get their next set of items, and then be ready to go.
Very reminiscent of Game 2. Now, mind you, it happened a lot later in the game, but essentially we got to the point where Team Spirit were the ones just running around with Luna and looking like, you know, what are you going to do as LGD? You have to wait for this perfect moment to find your fight. Team Spirit now find themselves in that situation. And one thing that they obviously recognized when they played that Luna strat was just stay together. Don't let the pickoffs happen. Can they find a pickoff right here? No. Look how safe Nothing to Say is playing there with the X.
XQ might be the one that gets found. The jump forward call, it's off the mark. And instead, he just heads off to the side. There's the root. Collapse has to back out of here. I mean, there's more people coming nearby. TorontoTokyo gets skewered back. He's caught alone. Can they kill him off? RP, but the winner's curse is trying to turn this. Boat afterwards finishes off that TA, but it's not enough. It's not nearly enough. And if they're not careful, they might lose more. The chase forward hacks Mira. X the spot as they'll pull the Lion back to find another kill. LGD, no mercy.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
It's looking rough. It is looking rough for Team Spirit.
Is that a Spirit Breaker in that draft?
Yeah, I don't know.
What this is? Because something happened.
They turned up on PSG LGD. They were not going to go out like that.
Well, it's looking like a completely different series at this point. I mean, Team Spirit, you know, the fun leveling. We're just having a good time. Good times might have come to an end right now, at least in this game. And you know, it gets to the point where as the game continues, you just wonder, like, how much is this impacting the looking like potential Game 5?
Potentially. I mean, again, you never count this out. We've seen teams come back for more than this against LGD to win a TI. But can they do it again here? Spectre, so often that late game answer, and they just need to find a good fight on Team Spirit to pull this one back. The question is, will LGD give it to them? Underneath a ward, this could be the way it starts.
They played so ridiculously clean this game, though. There's not offering up anything over to Team Spirit. Now, they do have some good vision down in that bottom jungle. If there was ever a chance to go for something, it's probably towards that part of the map right now. But Faith Beyond not acting like it, you know? Sitting directly on a trap, and they still can't go.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to really fight into this. Oh, TorontoTokyo, skewer, oh, and pulls him back in. They'll find the TA, wants to get out of here, blink away. Oh, just like that, TorontoTokyo able to get a little bit of separation, but they still have that night vision and Faith Beyond. With the chase down, they got him there to the side. Nobody coming to help the TA. TorontoTokyo falls again.
To the front!
12 kills, 12K gold lead. LGD keep up that momentum.
Team Spirit are waiting for the Aghanims on the Spectre. That is going to be their go play. They might have a Blade Mill there too.
He just gets caught again.
Until then, it's just throwing out heroes. You know, take me. Try and slow down this tower push.
How close are we now to that Aghanim Scepter? It's what, 50 gold away for this Spectre? Again,
I mean, it's been a fantastic item, but as you heard Seven No-Tail say, the damage is lacking.
Oh, man.
And they needed that early lead to actually provide some damage. They needed the items on Team Spirit. They don't have the items.
Well, and it's such a good answer here, right? With that Undying, being able to sit right up front there with the Tombstone, and then Luna can hit the tower, because the way that Team Spirit in the fight is like, when chaos happens, you get a giant curse or something. They're just not being presented that opportunity.
Although, if there is one hero that's very good at breaking formations, it is Spectre, right? The Haunt comes out, there's question marks everywhere, you're not sure where the real one is, and then it's providing vision to the rest of Team Spirit, and then you find the jump. And Axe, a hero that, with the Blade Mill, can turn some of your advantage into a disadvantage.
Looking for something here. It's just a shadow step to start. Now the call. Afterwards, they have Hunt starting to bring Ame down a little bit low. Aegis 30 seconds left, and now they're leaving him alone for the moment. Turning on to the other supports. Collapse going to TP out, but it's not going to happen. Collapse will go down, and that fight doesn't work. TorontoTokyo pulled back in. Refraction gone. And now the chase down happens yet again. Mira hoping to salvage this, but it's not going to happen one by one. All of Spirit go by the wayside.
And that was going into a fight with 30 seconds left on the Aegis too.
Oh.
So just like, even if you get some of those kills, the reset potential there from LGD. But Team Spirit, you know, they felt the situation that they had to find some sort of a fight maybe outside their base. Not a good one though.
And they used the winner's curse in that last fight. Yeah. That is really painful. Maybe if there was an opportunity right here, but jump in! The Tumbler's toy, are you kidding me? Faith Beyond able to make the play happen. And now focusing down the barracks at 20 minutes, 17-1.
I mean, Collapse is smoked up here, but I don't even know if there's a play. Obviously, you have to wait till the Templar Assassin's back.
They're hoping for something, anything at this point.
They just got mana for Shadow Step.
There's a chance, there's a hope, but will it actually come to fruition? I am not sure. Team Spirit just do not have an answer at all. Jump the Collapse. Oh my goodness. They just have to give it up. There's no other answer. There's still a tier 1 down bottom at the very least, but I mean, at this point, LGD could turn on the tier 4s maybe.
I love how this team plays Undying. The 5, the 4. Like, not a lot of teams really bring this hero out, but you know, you get this movement speed, so you get the ulti off the Flesh Golem, you're just getting the debuff down, having the drums to like benefit this early sieging ability that they have, as well as the Solar Crest too. So you know, so many teams looking for these saving heroes and empowering heroes on like the one big carry, and Undying is looking like a perfect answer when you also have the Spectre in the game.
And I just think, again, like, what a redemption arc this has been for Ame to be able to pull this back on that Spectre in Game 3 and now in Game 4 on the Luna, playing incredibly clean Dota, constantly 4-0 and 7.
Yep. Does not want to repeat history here.
Oh god, did I caster curse them?
No.
Surely.
21k lead at 21 minutes. I don't think you have that much time.
I don't think anybody does. We'll see though.
Oh, let me check Kyle's Twitter. Just make sure.
Mira gets the Hex off, but they call collapse. Mira's gonna try and TP out of here. Does manage to escape, but the axe is down. Toronto Tokyo, oh, cancels TP? Okay.
I mean, where are you gonna go?
I mean, I guess that, yeah.
There's, you know, they got some towers go through. You're not gonna do anything. Might as well try and catch the next wave.
That's true.
Because now where do you go is a bit of a question. I'll give you
might
that.
Just be dead if you're not careful. Tokyo, got to be careful there.
Stand perfect. Oh, I know this one from my pubs. Yeah. Got to keep the GPM up, you know?
Mean lane, they got him. Toro forced to jump away from this one, but nothing to say. Still got him in the sights. Able to throw out that Earth Spike, but they're hunting for more.
Faithion's coming.
Oh, good blink away by Mira, and Toro able to get the TP out, but Mira, the one that's going to pay for the sins, will end up falling there to XinQ, and now they're heading up again.
Faithion has had this troll for so long. I feel like he wants to end the game with it, you know, like reward it for its servitude.
Well, this might just be the time. I mean, Ame is up there.
Out. Send them in.
Roche is capable of respawning, but they're looking to just try and end this right now. No Magnus to pull him back into the fountain. There's the jump to start it.
All right, this has to be the jump, right?
Miposhka behind. He's got Winner's Curse, waiting for an opportunity, but can they get an opening?
There's no TA for 10 seconds. That might be an issue.
It's dangerous. Yeah, they don't quite have enough. TA without a quick way to get in there. They'll have to let it go for the moment, but Miposhka, they've still got a ward here. And now they don't.
Collapse has been smoked for so long.
They just can't find an opening. LGD just this impenetrable wall that doesn't break formation.
Yeah, they just keep popping them, but they can't find their fight. They might even be running low at this point.
19-1. So now with Roche respawned, LGD dotting their I's and crossing their T's and looking to close this one out with the shard in tow.
This is an emphatic victory at this point. You know, this is not the way you want to go into a Game 5 from Team Spirit. It's one thing to just like have a loss and sort of be like, okay, well, you know, we couldn't close it out in 3, but that's cool. We can do it in 4, whatever. You remember those 2 games, guys?
Right.
How much we
a long time ago.
It seemed like a very long time ago at this point.
Faithion pulls back there. Yule Scepter afterwards, but nobody's close enough to turn that into a fight. Another Shadow Step used just to slow down Faithion from going in for another round of this.
Tokyo's just drawing on the map down there. Throwing every trap possible to hold on that 1 tier 2, right? Force them to go for the throne.
And they're gonna do it. Walks right on in.
Happy to oblige.
Ame, he's ready. He wants to not relive the ghosts of the past. He wants to close this Game 4 out here in style. And so far, he's doing it. Turns now onto the Ancient Haunt out afterwards. Where's the fight? I'm not seeing it. Going deathless so far. They turn now onto Y. Just grips to the side. Oh, the catch onto collapse. Y's not dying. Nobody's dying. They all fall again as GG is called 23-3. A statement from LGD.
Did he get a blink call?
It didn't happen.
Like,
it was just too good.
Game, that was crazy. They never came online, quite frankly. Like this lineup was not allowed to operate in any facet whatsoever for Team Spirit. And it may be even in game score. It's 2-2, but it's not feeling like there's much of a chance right now. I mean, you gotta regroup.
You know, No-Tail and Seb, they were talking about body language coming into that. How about this body language right here?
That's confidence right there.
Ame's doing the Arthur hand. He's ready. He's ready to go.
Little skip in the step there. Yeah.
They're ready for
I think they're feeling a lot better.
a TI repeat.
But hey, there you go. All right, they're okay though.
See if they can pull it back again. But what an unbelievable experience. Again, LGD to be able to pull this back from that 2-0 start. Just incredibly impressive stuff.
All right, it's okay though. You just say like, it was draft, guys. I think we can all agree the draft looked rough. Thus the game looked rough. So you go forward, you shift things up, and Team Spirit will hopefully give us more of a challenge for LGD in Game 5.
Optimistic as always. We'll see if it ends up playing out. But for now, let's head back to the pick.
The series is tied 2-2. We will go into a Game 5 here in these grand finals of the International 10. I'm joined by BSJ, Effie, and Jenkins. And we're going to break down that Game 4. Jenkins, I want to start with well, let's start with the Team Spirit doubling their skill score there in the finals.
I don't know if there's any breaking down these games. Like, I legit don't. This shit is scripted. It's scripted. Like, how does every TI end like this?
No, it
At
doesn't,
some
though.
point, it's got to stop. I don't understand. It's like the amount of people that came up with it today. It's like, okay, right? And then hit it to the grand final. LGD is going to shellac them. And then after game 1, it's like, oh my god, dude, LGD's lost it. They're done. And then that happens. Literally, whatever you think will happen won't happen. So what do we do? How can I break that down? I'm sorry. I just can't believe it. Year after year, TI, it just delivers.
It is just delivering, Effie. It's a great series so far.
Well, there's so much to say, but I just want to comment on the mental fortitude that PSG LGD just showed, because a lot of us in the green room, we were sitting and watching the game, right? And after those 2 stomps, quite frankly, by Spirit, we were just thinking, did they do it? Did they mentally break down PSG LGD? But no, they walked out, they regrouped. Everyone thought they were so stubborn with that Magnus, but they beat them.
Nobody expected that. Everybody was like, oh my god, they let Magnus do it again. They're so stubborn. What are they doing? Literally everybody was wrong. I can tell you, I was sitting in that stadium. Every single person was saying, what is wrong with them? I was reading Twitter. What is wrong with them? That's the Magnus crew.
But that's why they're on Twitter. That's why they're in the stadium. That's why they're not playing. Experts.
Okay, so we talk about the fact that they lost the draft in Game 4. But we have to think about the mind games coming through this entire 4-game series so far. And they got Mag, lost with it, to a Spectre. And then they're like, oh, we'll give LGD Mag this time. We'll pick Spectre. But it was the Undying with the Spectre that was really causing the issues. And it's just not they lost to the way that they lost, which has to be some sort of mental defeat. I hope whatever I said made more sense than what Jenkins has been talking about.
Nothing makes sense. We're pretending. This is a facade. Nobody knows what's going on right now. Probably not even LGD or Spirit.
I think they have a little bit of an idea what's going on, right? So they let Magnus through twice, they lost it. I think they just didn't expect Spirit to be so strong. Like, they were coming off of their win against Secret, and they were feeling themselves, quite frankly.
Yeah.
They were playing so well. They kept up the tempo, they casted over their spells correctly, they played with confidence. But that Mag loss, that first one, broke them. And then to take it the next game and beat them with it convincingly, I'm worried about Spirit's mental state right now, actually, because this is where the difference in experience comes in between these 2 teams. Spirit are very young, and they probably didn't expect to make it this far. LGD has been training for this for 2 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, they have, so far, there's been 2 TIs before this. This is the 3rd TI that there's a Game 5 in a Grand Finals. And PSG LGD has already experienced this. They were already in a Game 5, Brian, with Ame, actually.
It's a little bit different this time, because in the previous one, they were up 2-1 going into Game 4. They were up by 15K, I believe, in Game 4, and OG made this crazy comeback, and instead, they've got all the momentum going in. I feel like they feel strategically superior. They're like, oh, those first 2 games, like, whatever happens, shake it off. But they had only lost 2 games throughout the entirety of the TI prior to that series. So this is, I think LGD is in a way better spot than this game.
I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I saw the cameras on them. And I was thinking, oh god, they're done. They looked so broken. They looked sad. Their eyes were watery. Like, and then that happens. I think the Tinker game was like a huge turning point. I think that draft was just a lot easier to execute. It gave them the taste for blood again, and then in the next game, it's just like they're just back to like prime LGD. You know, it's what they said in an interview. Like they learned from the losses, and they're grateful to the enemy teams for giving them the opportunity to learn. And that's what I felt after the Tinker game.
Yeah, we heard from Zawait right after the draft, and he was saying that some of the things that he told the team in between games before Game 4 was don't be afraid. If we lose together, we lose together, and otherwise we always have next year, Effie.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how you want your coach to be, but I think that right now, LGD are just in a position to take it all. And as amazing as Spirit's run has been, they've got the momentum now on LGD. And just hopefully, regardless of the outcome, both teams
Your
should be
top
proud of
tower
themselves
is
for
under
what they've
attack.
done.
Yeah, we've highlighted Team Spirit a lot because obviously they were on match point for 2 games now. We are going to highlight PSGLG a little bit more because now they are also on match point, and one of these 2 teams will take home $18 million and the World Championship and the Aegis. A lot on the line for this one game of Dota 2. So far, we only have 5 players in the world that have a 2-time TI championship to their names. If PSG LGD were to win this Game 5, we'll have 7 in total because Faith Beyond and Y were on the winning roster of TI6. And they will also have a 100% win rate at TI because they have only played the TI6 Brian. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they're doing the OG, but instead of taking like 6 months off, they take 4 years off and just come back and win another TI. But you know, we talk about the money. I'm a little bit of a math nerd myself. We're looking at $13 million between the 2 teams, between first and second.
Yes.
If it's like an average 40-minute game, that's about $300K a minute that they're playing the game of Dota. If you average 10 CS a minute, that seems pretty reasonable. That means every time you hit a creep, that's $30,000 if you win this game.
That's such a carry. That is such a carry way of breaking it down.
Just imagine that. 30K.
For every death, it's $300,000 for every death you feed. There's the offlane perspective.
Well, it's more like $1 million. You're not gonna. Actually, for you, you'd probably die many times. Never.
He's right.
No, there is a lot of pressure indeed with the money on the line, with the prestige on the line as well, and on the flip side of perhaps having a 2-time champ, Nothing to Say has not been at a single TI yet. This is his first one, and he has a potential to become the next Royal Roader. The last Royal Roader we had was Thompson at TI8. Before that, it was GH at TI7. And before that, it was the full Wings lineup. It is pretty crazy because all those names we hear time and time again, we talk about Thompson, GH, they're some of the best players in their roles, still are. And it just gives me a lot of giddiness for the season and the season.
And just speaking of Nothing to Say, he rose to prominence and kind of made himself known through Tinker. He was just a pub star who spammed Tinker, much to everyone's annoyance. And the hero that kept them in the TI Grand Finals was Tinker.
Turning point.
It's just everything goes back full circle. Every TI has some kind of magical story. And it's just incredible that we can see this level of Dota come out consistently from new players every year, it feels like.
It's very reminiscent of Thompson, like Pugna.
I got a
breaking
thought.
it out in the last series.
All right.
Oh no.
I believe that if you can turn around a best of 5 like this, if you do this when every CS is worth 30,000 goddamn dollars, then you should receive an honorary PhD in psychology from like Harvard or wherever.
I don't know if it works that way, but I will tell you that in TI Grand Finals history, it's never happened that someone could reverse sweep. This year alone, we did see the reverse sweep with PG versus IG in the Grand Final of the Singapore Major. Of course, it all started with that question mark.
They should get master's degrees. This is PhD.
I mean, it is being able to recover from that level of pressure and stress that is on that final game. But I also think that it is, with a Game 5, Effie, it's very simple for Team Spirit to also probably reset because they have also been in this situation.
I think everything is able to be said in a way, but we don't actually know what goes on behind the scenes. Their little powwow, I guess, after the game goes on. But what we know right now is PSG beat them and then took the game and beat them with it, and now they've got the 2-game win. They also have first choice right here. The next game. So it's looking a lot harder.
It is looking rough for Team Spirit as well, but they also know they've got a full region behind them. They are the first Eastern European team to be standing on these grand finals since 2013. It's been a long time coming. That being said, PSG LGD, of course, also having a lot of pressure because it has been quite a while since a Chinese team lifted that Aegis, and they know what it would mean to not just their organization and their team, but to the entire country if they were to indeed lift that Aegis. We'll see who gets to do it, though. We'll see who will take home that Aegis. It is going to be either Team Spirit or PSG LGD. It is one game of Dota 2. And I think it's going to be very important for both these teams to strip away these grand finals, to just relax. We see a lot of players, by the way, always take off their shoes. You know, they got to recreate how they feel when they play at home. In the past, we have had Ice taking off his pants because he preferred to play in his boxers, and that's allowed because you just got to make yourself comfortable. It is very important. Also, interesting fun fact for you all at home. I know you see sometimes players play with these heat packs. They've got these little heat packs to make your fingers warm. It is not actually cold in these boots. It's not cold. The reason they use these heat packs is because adrenaline makes your blood vessels tighter. So, you know, you gotta pump that blood real fast. But your extremities, your fingers, you need those to play the game. It's a sport with your hands, so you gotta have those heat packs to make your blood vessels quiet again. Did you know that, Nick?
No, I had absolutely a very bad knowledge of anything medical. Why I was saying they should receive PhD. Well, whatever. I think they should get a PhD in whatever the hell they want if they're gonna reverse sweep a TI. But also, I feel like Team Spirit had all the odds stacked against them just a few games ago, and they're in the same position. So what the hell do we know?
They've been in several Game 3s, and we watched them improve throughout the entire season. You've had the one team that's just consistently at the top, and the other one that's been rising from 4th place in BTC, where they didn't even qualify for the major, and it's all fire team, bro.
I'm so glad that you have that, because even if you look at their BTC performance, they have just been slowly getting better. They've just been this team lurking in the shadows. Throughout the Animajor, they impressed. They beat Liquid in their tiebreakers, right? They did so well in groups, better than anyone else expected. And in the DPC Season 2, they almost beat when we come here, everyone's whispering about those scrims, but people kind of just
an actual dark horse, not just the team where you don't want to feel bad by being like they're gonna get eliminated. They're an actual dark horse.
We can call them a dark dragon because they do have the dragon logo that is like black and white, so they're actually like dark dragon, right?
They've earned it at this point.
They really did. Also, want to remind people of the words that Collapse had said right before their tournament. He was prompted with the question upper bracket, lower bracket, and he, without hesitation, said lower bracket. So he likes to be with the back against the wall, Brian. It makes him perform better.
Just give him a new hero. You know, give a new hero to Yatoro. Give Collapse, the Mag, the Tide. I don't care what's happening at this point. Pull out your TIE, pick exactly what your players want to play. I don't think strategy is going to matter nearly as much as we maybe give it credit for when this much is on the line.
Agreed. Pick your best heroes, and that's how they beat Secret today. They just pulled up, the draft was looking grim until they pulled up that last pick Storm for Toronto Tokyo, and they absolutely destroyed with it. So just go for comfort, play like you're at home, and see what happens.
So you want Silent and Xiaowei to just go in those booths and have, guys, Game 5 of this TI-10 Grand Finals, everything's on the line. What do you want to play? Is it that simple?
Maybe.
It could be that simple. We are going to find out what is going to happen in this 5th and deciding and final game of TI-10. Let's go.
Team Spirit versus PSG LGD. Grand Finals, Game 5.
Hello everyone, welcome to the final draft panel of TI10 because this is game 5. One game to decide the entire tournament between these two teams.
This is literally the best game Dota has to offer.
It is. This is the best moment of the tournament. What do you guys hope to see from both teams coming in?
You want to go?
I mean, first and foremost, the best game of Dota possible, I think. That is what I want to see. I want to see both teams getting their comfort zone. I want to see both teams getting solid drafts and being able to fight full force and, you know, show the world and show themselves and us, like everybody, what they have to offer. That's what I want to see.
I mean, this is one of life's true magical miracle moments. This is people working their lives, years and hours and so
much. They did ban
much.
Tiny, sorry. They did not ban Tiny.
Yeah, oh wow. They actually decide, okay, but Mag is also in. So this is something that we know that LGD, they chose first pick.
Yeah.
And most likely they were trying to force this Mag for nothing trade, or they believed that these guys were not going to counter the Mag correctly. But now Team Spirit is changing it up one more time.
Remaining.
Which is really going to be awesome. But yeah, back to what I was going to say, because this is back against the wall for both teams. This is like the most pressure these people have probably ever been under in their whole lives, or for Ahmed, like he's been so close twice now. I hope to see both teams just fully let go of everything that holds them back, become a team, become the best humans you can, become like the best teammates that you can become, and play the best you can. This is your day. This is your moment. This is for you to show the world what you can do in Dota.
And it's amazing to witness, and I think we're gonna get it because these
They
already this opener from both teams is showing a lot of confidence. So I feel like the teams, they found their momentum again, they found their form, and they found their confidence, and that's what matters at this point. And there's a lot to say actually about what's going on. So LGD had the choice, and they ended up, so second pick has won, like game 1, 2, and 3, they were about second pick. LGD was forced back against the wall into a first pick scenario in the game 4 that we just witnessed. They took the Mag, and they showed how they can make it work, and they can also counter it. This would show us game 3. Team Spirit in game 4, they showed that, in my opinion, they showed LGD they did not have the best understanding, and they're going for it, yeah, here. And I want to say how, like in this game, LGD, they get their best strategy. Tiny is their best strategy. As we said before, you know, they brought this Tiny to the meta. They were the team making it happen. They were the team abusing the Tiny with the Lycan. They know this better than anybody else. They have played the Tiny Lycan versus Secret the other day, and against the Secret Mag, and they made it work. Today, Team Spirit, they played versus the Secret Tiny with the Mag, and they won.
Yeah.
But, you know, is LGD better at executing it than Secret? Maybe they are. You know, you can only assume. This game will tell.
Yes. We learned firsthand about the LGD Lycan Tiny very early on before we got to TI, and this strategy, when you see it for the first time, you're like, oh boy, this reminds you of some of the other broken strats that you see come up around TI. And I think, I mean, it's nice. It's amazing that we get this in the game 5, and that somebody is manning up to LGD, saying, "We're giving you your best strat, and we're gonna beat you." And
this is the team that Theory crafted it. You know, they are the inventors of Tiny and Tiny Lycan. It's scary to go up against it, and I like the Team Spirit confidence. They're getting their Collapse Magnus. One thing that has to be said is Rubik is getting banned. Like, this is gonna be Collapse Magnus at its prime, or it should be, right? Because so far LGD, they have countered it with the Rubik. They understand how to break this cure action. Are they going to get the tools that they need in order to break this cure? We're yet to see. I think that's one of the kind of storyline of this draft. Miposhka Bane has been incredibly good. We saw also Bane dominate the game 4 for LGD. Bane versus Tiny, extremely interesting matchup. Why is that? Because Enfeeble actually reduces attack damage for 60%. It's really big. Tiny plays on this base damage. Actually, a Tiny that goes on somebody while being Enfeebled does ridiculously low damage, actually. It does counter him. It's a hero that's very undervalued, in my opinion, against Tiny. Of course, Bane into Lycan, it can be a little bit scary, but yet again, this is all about, this strategy, this Tiny strategy, is all about getting this Tiny to kind of a critical mass that nothing can deal with.
I do think that he will eventually get some plays, or if we're going to see it, and we're going to see it executed really well, you're also going to see the Lycan vision being used, and Lycan versus Bane, Lycan versus Mag, it's a lot about the vision. Ideally, LGD, they get to start the fight, either through the Tiny Shadow Blade or Bling, or something else, you know. Tinker fits well in these kind of drafts, because you have the Lycan to enable you, and if you have a good lane, you can also have a stable game, and now your scaling is unreal. This is something that I think Team Spirit should keep in mind. They should keep in mind these Tinkers, they should keep in mind their best heroes, and also for them, what are we going to do against this Tiny now? Are we trying to push him out of his comfort zone, play on early timings before he gets bitten and 20-minute shard and all those things? Or are we actually going to try to pick this Naix, Ursa? I saw Ursa ban. Are they going to pick a hero like Faceless Void with the mag to try and take these fights later on against this monster?
Which style do you think is a better counter to the Tiny Lycan? Because this combo has ran rampant during TI.
I'm in the Tiny boat. I am very much in the Tiny boat.
It's too much.
This is an Angel Arena hero.
No.
This is not a Dota hero.
You have to beat it before it hits its timing. Nothing beats it. Like, at least that's our read, is like, you will not scale into this. It's not gonna happen. Especially against LGD, they understand the timings, they're gonna push it at the perfect time. They will not lose, they're not gonna waste a single second in this game. As soon as they have the upper hand, they will push it, they will end the game. You have to beat it before, and you can. This Tiny doesn't, like, he actually, he mechanically cannot play quicker than the 20 minutes. It's just a Dota mechanic. He cannot buy the shard before minute 20.
I would argue there's a Shadow Blade timing that changes a little bit because he actually can defend this tower, surprise you, get solo kills. But other than that, like, you still want to abuse him because with this naked Shadow Blade or with something else like that, like one slow, one spell, you're at risk of dying and getting dragged into a bad fight. Okay.
They're just going for it. They're picking all three of the cores in a row.
I'm not so sure it's a core. I mean, it might be. It might very well be.
You think it's a support Kunkka, maybe?
I'm not sure. I think it's very scary to pick the Kunkka like that. They maybe have a read where...
I think it's a stabilizing thing for them. I think they're actually so confident that this hero is not losing mid and is going to stabilize the mid game and the early game through his both fights. That would be my read on it.
I mean, I see it. It is indeed probably the best hero to stabilize the game for the Tiny Lycan because the holes of Tiny Lycan is, it's the first pick Tiny, it's the first phase Lycan. Like, these heroes are going to be, they should be punished on lanes. They should be punished in the game. You're just announcing, hey, this is a Tiny Lycan game. You know, so of course, the Team Spirit is going to try to abuse that. So these heroes are going to have to, somebody's going to have to make space for them. You know, you want to consider that they're not going to have the perfect Tiny Lycan game or the opposing team kind of messed up the draft. So Kunkka is here to help them stabilize. You know, Kunkka's a great laner. The boat is good in every game in the early fights and whatnot. So this could explain why they feel like we need to get our hands on this Kunkka, especially because the hero that they might pick later is going to get counterpicked anyway.
Didn't they only pick Yatoro's hero in the last 2 games that they lost early? Now they're again going back to picking his very late.
Yeah, and it makes sense with what a hero pool he's displayed on the main stage.
I'm just wondering what he's going to be playing now with all these bans that are coming out for him. Like, the heroes that I think, if they ban the Faceless Void now, I wonder what he's going to look at with this mag versus this Tiny.
So with these 8 heroes picked, which side do you favor going into these final picks?
I'm on the Tiny boat.
Yeah.
Just a Tiny boat?
Tiny Lycan boat.
If you want to break this Tiny, you have to abuse the fact that he comes online late. I mean, everything is relative, but he comes online post minute 20. Yeah. Same for the Lycan. He should have a bad lane. He's buying Ags, so all the gold that he builds towards these Ags is useless. Lycan with 3k gold or just with the blade and the staff of with it, like, it does nothing. When the Axe comes and the shard comes, this is when the power spike is crazy. But before that, these are 2 heroes that are actually really bad at fighting. They're really bad at, you know, at stunning, at catching. They don't do much, and I think you have to use that opening. But so far, I think the Spirit heroes, I don't know if they truly do that.
And if you think about it from that perspective, I feel like Kunkka and Skywrath, you're trying to run at them, hit that strong timing, but they have the potential to burst anyone. And you have some Bane save, some Winter Wyvern save, but it might not be enough for Skywrath.
And I also think the Skywrath was a preemptive pick for Toronto to Tokyo. Like, or if he wasn't going to play Invoker, which was not banned, then the Skywrath Silence is always good against the Spirits. And I think they picked this knowing what's coming, knowing what this Dota game is already kind of shaping out to be. So I think it was also a good pick to, now you see this Ember, you see this Viren.
Nothing to say.
Now you see this Ember, you see this Viren, and you actually see the Skywrath value that's going to happen in these early fights. Could happen.
To me, I feel like there's a hole though in LGD's draft in the sense that you pick Lycan into Mag Wyvern and you pick Tiny into Mag Wyvern, and Mag Wyvern, they have really good plays against that. And when they played against Secrets, they did play the same lineup. They played Tiny Lycan into Mag Wyvern, and they had a Puck and a Phoenix, which are heroes that excel at messing with the backline. They stop the Bane and the Wyvern and the Mag from pressing their spell how they want to. I see a hole in the sense that Kunkka and Skywrath, they don't do that. This Wyvern is going to have 3 fights. Same for the Mag, same for the Bane, and that worries me a lot. You know, for LGD, I think the fights are going to be much harder. And we saw Secret today, and I think the whole in their draft, they had a Shadow Demon and the Lina with the Mag, with the Tiny and the Lycan. And these heroes don't really complement. You know, they don't counter what counters the Tiny Lycan.
Yeah.
Something I want to mention actually is that they picked Meg and they banned Rubicon to protect it. I think this Kunkka pick actually came because X has a similar function. Like if Magnus gets a skewer and you X and redirect him, or you X your ally, you can stop that skewer from coming in.
That's more interesting. Yeah, you can actually X the Tiny. Yep.
We also see Enchantress coming in. I think this hero, you know, they have this low lineup, but something you can do is you can play really aggressive early with Enchantress. There's double range supports and a Magnus. This hero can actually snowball this game.
Yeah, he definitely can.
I like these types of Dota drafts. I really like these drafts that are a bit lackluster too. Like I'm a big fan of Enshkaret, especially back in the day, where there's a big hole, which is your AoE, your team fight, your ability to fight into them. Oh, TB the draft. Okay. But still, they're banking everything on this Christmas tree wolf that's going to happen at some point, and it breaks the whole game, you know? And this is also the end. It's just here to help that happen, to make that happen.
It really seems like LGD doubled down on the we are going to secure the strongest 20-minute timing.
Yes.
And Team Spirit, I actually think that LGD is on a timer. If they cannot enforce this 20-minute timing and snowball the game, this is when the Wyvern, the TB, the Magnuses, they will scale greatly. So it's going to be down to can LGD execute their best strategy.
Yeah. That's an exciting matchup for Game 5 of the finals because LGD, like, you look at them throughout the tournament, they've always been hitting their timings. You look at Spirit, they've been breaking teams at what they do best. And now we have the Game 5 where they're matching up here.
I want to see a way to stop this Skewer. Collapse has proven you cannot play against his Magnus if you don't have ways to deal with the Skewer. LGD, they don't really have that. I feel like both teams got very powerful tools. It's kind of scary.
You think you're going to see the X mark? I can see it.
It's harder than the Rubik one. Like it's in halftime, but I think it might happen. Even if you have to go high ground, X the Tiny, hit the tower.
But then you have to create the situation where the Tiny is
you do have
getting
to hit the
something done. You know, in the mid game and stuff, it's not the same. It's exciting. Both teams have great tools to take it on.
Last time Imposter played Byron, he owned the game.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, that's what we wish for. It's like, can both teams get a solid draft? Can they get their comfort? They did. We're in for a treat.
So who do you guys think the most important hero on LGD is for them to hit their timing? Like whose early game matters the most?
Obviously the Kunkka, and I would also say the supports will have a huge part to play. The Lycan, the Tiny, they still have roles to play in the early game. Everybody does, and if you can help negate pressure, if you can get that random support kill if they're doing something illegal in your jungle or kill the wave with your hero, then sure. But if Kunkka is owning and the Skyward's having a good game, they can make so much happen in the game.
And for the Team Spirit side, do you think there's anyone who can sort of stop that onslaught early?
They're going to look at Ember. Yeah. Ember. Everybody's looking at Ember for this match. Yeah.
It has to be the Ember.
And now we're going into the final game of TI10. But before we go into the game, we'll be coming to Sumi with Team Spirit's coach, Silent.
Thank you very much, AUI. Silent, this is the final game of the tournament. There is nothing more after this. Grand Finals, the score is 2-2. No need to hide strategies now. What is your team's strategy to win?
Luck. Our best strategy is just luck.
Your strategy is just luck.
Our best strategy.
Their best strategy is luck, and luck is how they are going to win. Do you have any final comments before this game starts? He does not have any comments. All right, let's throw it over to Insania and ODPixel.
Thank you very much, Sumi. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the deciding Game 5 here at the TI10 Grand Finals. Team Spirit against PSG LGD. I'm ODPixel, joined, of course, once again by the fabulous Insania. What have we got in front of us here? What have we got in store for us this game, Aiden?
Man, what a crazy game. I think the last game was very, very much in LGD's favor straight from the draft. I think this is really even. And I completely agree with what Seb had to say, where I think both teams have different things going for themselves. I think if this game does scale up, if it goes very slowly, if the 20-minute timing from the Tiny isn't abused, then LGD's draft is going to just lack in power as the game scales up. I'm a little bit worried about how much the impact the Sky, Kunkka, Enchantress combo can have together around the map, and how well Team Spirit will be able to shut it down. I think runes, just like Silent said, luck, you know? And I don't think he was joking. Luck really does matter. If they get those power runes, it's going to be huge for them.
I mean, we saw as well from Spirit the sort of the very carefree attitude it worked out at the start of this series. I've been asked before the first game how the preparation was. Silent said, well, we didn't get to do much at all. We're just turning up to play and have a bit of fun. That fun certainly looked to be effective in Game 1 and Game 2, but Game 3 and Game 4, as we've just seen, PSG LGD, they have stepped it up. They've hit back hard. And now it's time to see if they can continue on the road to the reverse sweep. Or Team Spirit can find that magic that was getting them through the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a battle of the mid laners come after laning phase. I think the laning phase is probably going to be fairly even. Both heroes will farm fairly well, but that 6-minute rune, Owen, I think whoever gets a 6-minute rune actually has a massive edge in this game, because they're going to get to decide what happens, and the other team has to respond.
Absolutely, we've seen the importance of those timings, those power runes already many times in the series, many times in the tournament itself. Both teams fully be aware of this, and we'll see a lot of focus around that first spawn. Looking at the side lanes here, getting into the action. Who's having the rough time here in the early game?
I actually think most lanes are just going to be fairly farmy. The top side of the map, I think, is probably where you're going to see the most kind of action. There's a little bit of threat from the tiny edge to potentially make some sort of kill move, but I really think it's right now, you know, you want to get as much farm as you can out of the lanes before the supports have to rotate out. So I expect all 6 cores of this game to have a fairly decent start.
We'll see if there's going to be any slip-ups in the laning stage.
Yeah. Very even so far.
Tis mine.
Mid lane. 1 against the 8 for 0. Of course, Toronto Tokyo taking quite the hit from the Tidebringers. Nothing to say. Bottom lane, Xingqiu. It's a little low here, but into the trees he goes. A TP away just in time before Yatoro is able to hunt him down.
Yep, so the Metamorphosis has been popped, but they have link control up top, and the advantage of having link control is the TB can't really run you down with his ranged attack the way he wants to, so not the ideal position for this meta to use. If you're able to use it right outside of your own tier 1 tower, you can kind of zone out any other hero to come into the lane, but Phaethion's doing just fine during this meta.
Oscar trying his best to get Xingqiu away from his Terrorblade, keep that area safe.
Yeah, Nothing to Say is doing very well mid. I'm a little bit surprised at this. He's almost a full creep wave ahead.
So the courier taking out Salt, Mirror, continuing to trade as best they can here with White.
Yeah, doing a good job, making sure this top hard camp is blocked. Oh,
They're going to
here's
try
the
and
sleep.
move over. I mean, Collapse has hit the level 3. See if he's got enough lockdown and damage to take this kill, and yes he does. At the same time in the mid lane, Toronto Tokyo very low there, has to get out of the range of a potential Tidebringer. He will, but there we have it. First blood up top. Good quick read from Spirit there as soon as they knew that they had the setup and the level 3 on that.
Yeah, this mid lane is going excellently for Nothing to Say. Toronto Tokyo here has a hard choice of do I go for the bounty rune or do I stay in the lane and try to farm? Ooh, nice sleight of fist. Dodges off the farm. But yeah, overall, I think very stable lanes all around. TB Lycan about even. Mid lane is really the only outstanding lane so far to me.
Sure, and we know how scary Nothing to Say can get when he has a start like this. The setups that he'll be able to offer to the team, they're going to be huge, and a fair bit of damage to follow up each and every time that Nothing to Say gets a catch.
Yeah, and LGD really on top of refilling the bottle, right? You see, Toronto Tokyo's not quite getting the same support mid, and that's because their heroes are forced to stay in their lanes right now. They can't really move their pieces on the map. And already winning the lane, getting that free bottle refill, he's going to be able to steal the small camp away from Ember. This is huge. Nothing to Say is off to a great start in his game 5 of the grand final.
And it's very hard for Tokyo to do too much about it. Of course, Kunko early on. Some HP, he's not going to be too scared of being burnt down by the Ember at the early levels.
Yep, and up top you see, like, this is generally how the early game is developing in this grand final, where the Tiny gets the 1-versus-1 lane against the Mag, because there's no real kill threat. Neither side can really pressure each other too much, and the two supports are kind of battling it out in the jungle. But here we go, Collapse is really far up into the lane. This could be a lot of pressure.
See Mirror. Look at this side though, in case Arme and White find the connection.
I feel like the one small edge PSG LGD has had in this grand final is they're able to keep their safe lane really close to their tower constantly. They're not losing lane control on their safe lane, and it's allowing for them to have very good creep equilibrium, and that then in return makes Collapse forced to play much safer.
Never closed the gap on the courier. Has left Collapse rather on his own. Nice little circle around the tree line will keep Collapse away from the two of them.
He's actually a player that very often manages to get these jukes where he kind of takes a route that people don't expect him to, and gets out of these tricky situations. Wonder if he can get out now though. Wise on top of him. He has a slow.
It's a fair bit of damage. Does still have the skewer for a follow-up impetus, or the combo of Arme can close in on him.
Yeah, Faith Beyond getting initiated on bottom. Flies used, meta's used, but immediate TP out. Again, great presence of mind. You can tell why these players are in the grand finals. They're not giving anything away for free. It's not like neither team is attempting to make moves. It's just both teams are really on top of it. As mid.
See the setup here with the combo. Nice dodge. Flies off to the side here, Toronto Tokyo. In fact, over in the triangle, they are able to catch out. Or in fact, well, he did deny the bounty, but it will cost him his life coming over for that one there, as Team Spirit were prepared for that move.
Yeah, and Toronto Tokyo picks up the illusion rune there. So a little bit of miscoordination there. I think if you time that Ancient Seal a bit better, generally speaking, you know, you're going to use an extra Torrent. If you get the silence after the Torrent goes off, then the potential to get the boat in is there. And I think if they did the combo that way, they might have gotten the kill. But of course, the fear of Ember potentially dodging the Torrent with a slight forced them to use it too early.
Yeah, now they've sort of shown their hand mid. It's going to be hard for them to make that play again. Top lane. The Nightmare set up onto Arme. Collapse. It's got enough damage. Doesn't look like quite. The Shockwave will miss. Trying to chase down Arme, but Shockwave and Skewer already expended. There's no further threat here against the Tiny. Arme is going to be fine.
That's good pressure though. They force them off of the lane. They finally have managed to get lane control up top, and immediately when they get it, they have the opportunity to pressure the Tiny. So force them off the wave, force them to go into the jungle, and he doesn't have any sustain, right? So he's gonna have to spend gold.
There, going for him early on here with the three of them surrounding the Terrorblade. Yatoro, he's trapped in the trees. Moves from the supports of PSG LGD start to come in. See the counterplay attempted. Set up with the Nightmare, but the TP's already coming over for nothing to say. He'll be ready to fight if Team Spirit push any further, and they won't. They'll respect the potential of a backup coming in for Arme. They step away to not be caught out by the combo of the Kunkka.
Yeah, Battle of the Power Rune now resumes. It's about 30 seconds left, so both teams probably talking about which supports can we bring to the runes, who can be there in time to help out. One haste, one DD, it can change the flow of the game entirely.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Tokyo also just sort of cutting the wave, maybe getting the momentum of the mid lane in such a state that he'll have that ability to check the rune, but yeah, PSG LGD just fully on it.
DD, it's a big rune. This allows you now to have the damage to potentially burst a hero that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And bottom lane, Faith Beyond's really trying to pressure this tower. And now that he's forced out the Arctic Burn from Miposhka, Miposhka has to be very safe. He can't really sit there and be as annoying anymore and just continuously nuke the creeps. So expect this bottom tower to start falling. Meanwhile, top, Arme's doing a great job of just defending.
He is. He's clearing out the wave, holding off the pressure. Something that Team Spirit can't quite do themselves here down bottom.
So here, it's an important smoke here that LGD are doing. They recognize that Arme is going to sit at the tower. The Radiant team can't really defend their own bottom tower. So what are they going to do? They're going to mirror your play. They're going to go and attempt to take top lane tier 1 tower. So the smoke up here, it's a preemptive move in case Team Spirit tries to do something. But Spirit reads it perfectly. They are aware.
And making sure not to get caught out by these early moves as PSG LGD do start to slowly ramp up an early gold advantage. Now heading the 1k lead, they'll be able to catch themselves a lonely vein in the river. Mira.
Yeah, and Yatoro actually gives his position away. He used the reflection there, so now they know the Terrorblade's in the triangle. And you can look bottom. Faith Beyond has absolutely no fear. There's no hero that could gank him in any shape, way, or form. So he's off to a really, really good start. And when we talked about the strat coming into it, it's all about timings, right? So you want, ideally, for him to finish up his Helm of the Overlord and the Aghanim Scepter before 20 minutes. And if the game continues the way it is right now, it's highly likely to happen.
Bottom tower defiled.
Spirit, you want to try and put the pressure up top, try and push Arme out of this top area of the map. See in the mid lane, for the catch, but again Toronto Tokyo fully prepared. Spirit away.
Spirit are aware that the boat was used, and that means the top tower is very unlikely to be defended.
It's hard for them to get on top of Arme. Again, playing smart with the Avalanche, putting a stop to the combo, and now time's been bought for PSG LGD to come around. Yatoro immediately out with the TP, doesn't want to be around here anymore. Mira will get found in the trees though. Another death there on the Bane as PSG LGD continue to fight back against Spirit's attempts to get something done whilst the pushes are coming in elsewhere from PSG LGD there. Definitely getting a little bit more done in this first 10 minutes.
Yep, they absolutely are. And Purge Creep here on the Lycan. This allows you to take away the level 4 Flame Guard from the Ember, which is his major fighting tool right now here in the game. So that gets purged, immediately has to back off. This tower is gone.
Oh, look at this timing here. 10 minutes, a second tier 1 tower. Playing it fast, PSG, LGD.
Yep, LGD have the entire map to play with right now. They're controlling the entire... It's basically wherever they want to go, whoever they want to kill, is an option for them. And Team Spirit, they just have to try to play this map split game where they're dragging the PSG LGD heroes around and trying to get Yatoro to farm safely behind everybody else.
I'm going to see what the space to collapse has got. He's going to have a good timing here on the Blink Dagger. I mean, how proactive do you expect to see them be here with this Blink pickup? Is it an immediate smoke and an attempt for a kill?
I think very likely they're going to try to make some counter move where they try to set up a play where they expect LGD to do something and they know where their heroes are going to be, and then they're set up ready to take that site. I don't really expect them to make some aggressive smoke. Most likely around some enemy tower or in order to defend one of their own.
The Soul Eater hungers.
Some micro here.
Oh my god, Faithion's being so annoying. Toronto Tokyo's trying to farm jungle with his Flame Guard, but he's just purging it off every single time.
And he's taking all the camps himself, Faithion here with the walls.
Yeah, and it's a tough position to be in if you're Team Spirit. You've really drafted this very late game heavy draft. You know it's going to take a long time for you to come online. I think if you see a team like OG play December Spirit, he probably would have gone for more of a slight chain build and try to make moves, try to set up tempo, and try to break up the pace of the game. But Toronto Tokyo opted to go for the more farm heavy route. So their draft is going to come online much later than PSG LGD's, and that's why they're allowed to dominate the early game the way they have been.
To say, he wants to set up in the mid. Arcane Rune in the bottle, full armlet.
They're trying to
Phase.
break your
Very
middle tower.
janky, couldn't for this early on, and a lot of damage to dish out.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the vision game, which we've been talking about so much during this series, because it's just so important, you notice you have the scouting wolves from Fate Beyond, so there's extra 2 wards basically that are running around the map and providing vision for LGD. And then on top of that, the Team Spirit wards are so defensively placed, they're right outside of their own towers, protecting their triangle and protecting their tier 2 bottom tower. So it's not really giving them any information about what's going on in the game. They don't really see any heroes on these wards. Whilst LGD feel very comfortable moving around the map, so vision superiority definitely in favor of LGD. They understand what's going on in the game right now much better than Team Spirit does. Team Spirit's playing exclusively off of game sense.
You can see the confidence from PSG LGD because of that vision control. Smoke ups, they swing through the triangle here of Team Spirit. Team Spirit gets caught out on the top. They don't get Yatoro. Knows to back
always
off.
sniffs it out. Yatoro's so good at sniffing it out, I feel like.
Yeah, and he's made the call for Collapse to back off as well. They're both out of it.
Yeah, and this is purely a game sense tree. This is him looking at the minimap, understanding what LGD is doing, and responding to it perfectly. There was no information of that play coming. Wonderfully done. A little bit of a play attempt set up in the bottom lane. But they just don't have the damage.
It's just with the 2 of them. What a job with the supports alone.
But look at Yatoro, he's making his way over.
Deep with the Terrorblade and Metamorphosis, they could get the damage done if you get a grip onto Arme. He is tanky though, 2.4. 2400 HP. He's got the Echo Saber, the treads. See if they can do it. Nightmare setup. Instantly TPs are coming in. See if they can do the damage quick enough. Yatoro focusing down with the Metamorphosis and the illusions. They'll be able to take it. They kill off Arme. Mystic Flare's coming in, but Yatoro is able to sidestep it. PSG LGD, can they get a grab in return? Nothing to say. Trying to charge in. See Mira head into the trees, trying to distract them from the rest of it. Here comes the micro.
Is happening to your
White,
top tower.
he's able to lock down Miposhka here with a setup from the Centaur, drag back into the combo. He'll try his best to break the combo. Nothing to say here with the curse thrown out Miposhka. Still end up going down. Still though, Spirit, they'll take that. They got in, they're able to take Arme off the map. Yatoro is able to continue to farm here with the benefit of Collapse and the Empower.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But they did use both the Lycan form and the boat. And if we think about how LGD wants to play this game, it's important for them to have their cooldowns to get big kills or get big moments. While Team Spirit are happy every time nothing's happening in the game, they feel like they're getting ahead. They feel like they're progressing their game. And that's exactly what's going on now, right? They know there's no Lycan form, there's no boat, there's no team fight that's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. And they're very happy about that.
Yeah, we're seeing as well Toronto Tokyo able to silently play his game here. He's been getting a lot of space. See already with this time with the first time pick up the Yules. It's already rather hard for PSG LGD to catch. He's got the Javelin on his way towards the Maelstrom. So his game, his farm certainly going to be picking up. pretty soon here. So PSG LGD are able to find more action to keep this lead going. Arme in the neighborhood, ready to brawl in the jungle of Spirit. If Spirit give it to them, but so far in this game 5, Spirit, they've returned to sort of that fantastic ability to read the moves and just avoid any sort of engagement that is not preferable for them to be involved in.
Yeah, and I think when you're playing some sort of like Enchantress Skywrath type draft, you want to be getting kills right now. You want to be punishing them. And if you take a look at the graphs, it's been about a 2 to 3k lead for most of the game. They're not really progressing on LGD's side. Yes, they're ahead, but they're not getting more ahead. And with their style of draft, you want to be getting more ahead as the game progresses. So it's looking like that 20-minute timing really is going to be everything for them.
Absolutely, especially now with the Shadow Blade done on Arme. I mean, he is ready to be an incredible killer at this stage, of course. The power of the Tiny, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think the two supports from Team Spirit are going to be really, really important for this upcoming team fight. Because if Bane is able to get a grip on the Tiny for long enough for TB to take good positioning and output damage, that might just be enough for them to win the game. If this Tiny goes down, PSG LGD's draft has nothing. It's all about Arme.
What fresh hell is this?
This time around, Mira and Miposhka. The next level collapse by their side. Arme.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
He's just got himself Xingqiu behind him. The Shadow Blade in preparation to clear out the wave. See if Spirit hang around to try and hunt him down.
Yeah, Miposhka with the read. He does have a sentry.
He's mine.
Looks like he might have ran up with that wave if Arme had just been slightly more patient. So if we take a look at items, you see the Winter Wyvern's building the Blink. He understands one good curse, you know? It's all about getting the one good spell off. So having the positioning, staying back, and then blinking at the right moment, that's going to be what he's going for. And they're giving him space, right? They're letting Miposhka sit down here to try to finish up the Blink. They understand how important this is.
No, absolutely. It's going to be huge, these curses, against a lineup where you're running these 3 melee cores that want to be charging in at you. Absolutely possibilities for a huge turnaround Winter's Curse to come out in these team fights.
Yeah, there definitely is. And if you look at Yatoro, he's building up for that Eye of Skadi. He wants to be tanky enough to tank the damage and then potentially get a Sunder off. That's going to be the big game for him. If he's able to stand his ground with Skadi and this Tiny initiates on anything but him, he might just be able to be tanky enough to stay alive.
Tower just got sent.
The one person who's really not getting any farm in this game right now is Collapse. He's kind of understood that, you know what, I'm just going to get my shard and I'm going to be happy with that. If I can have it by 20 minutes, that's everything I need.
We've seen before from Collapse how much he can get done with limited resources. This man's Magnus, certainly something to be feared. Something that got tripped up in the game, of course, where Xingqiu had the Rubik to deal with it. Something that isn't, of course, here this time round. So a bit more free of a game for Collapse to make these moves occur.
Yeah, I feel like both teams are just waiting for this 20 minutes. I mean, if the pacing keeps going like this, I mean, LGD's gonna hit their timing, and then you really gotta look at that team fight. The nice thing about having so much time right now is I expect Team Spirit to be really ready for that fight when it comes. But look at this. LGD are gonna try to make a move right before it.
Yeah, really, there you go. Ancient Thunderhide leading the charge. Will be spotted out here by Spirit. I don't know that there's likely going to be some action following it.
Great read from Spirit again. And look up top, Yatoro's just farming. 5 heroes coming down here for LGD, but Yatoro has the space that he wants.
Grab underneath the tier 2 tower. Xingqiu, nothing to say, they're going to try. Collapse, he's going to go with the RP just onto Xingqiu, drag the Scarab underneath the tower. They will lose the Wyvern in return, but Yatoro's ready to turn up, the grip's there. They've caught nothing to say underneath the tower. Yatoro's bid this off for now though. Sleight of Fist comes out as they're looking to turn on, and nothing to say, they get him. Jump forward with the Remnant, he's looking for more. Trying to go in with the chains onto both Y and Arme. Arme goes down. Y and Fabian lost your life, but not for long. That Shockwave claims the life of the Enchantress. The Spirit of Collapse will end up dying here to the Thunderhide of Faith Beyond, but of course that will also get claimed by Yatoro. So more money for them on the defense. An aggressive dive underneath the tier 2 tower. But as we said, the turnaround, it's absolutely there. Yatoro is able to get involved, and PSG LGD, they get punished.
Yeah, beautifully done by Team Spirit. But keep in mind, RP was expended, Metamorphosis was expended, 20-minute timing coming up, and Roshan's available too. So, huge rune, arcane rune for Ember. This could be a game-winning rune for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think once we see that Lycan form come up, expect them to make some kind of move. Actually, Tiny's missing 1,000 gold for his shard, so probably not going to be able to use his timing. So great fight for Spirit all around. Like, proving that they can kill the Tiny is huge for them.
Slash and burn.
I mean, Miposhka's maybe even already leading into more action. He's got the Winter's Curse at the ready. Both Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse up here, ready to play around him as well.
Yeah, Fate Beyond's about 1,000 gold away from the Axe.
Collapse, he's got that horn toss, he's got that setup. Quick catch and a drag back on to Jin-Kyu, gets him in reach of the rest of the team. Gotta watch out for these pickoffs. This is something that Collapse was tearing them apart with earlier in the series.
The idea from LG here is to silence him when he plays in the horn, so he can't get the screw back. Very similar to how the Rubik functioned in the last game, but this time around they're just going to try to use this silence from Skywrath. So what does he do? He goes for the Sky. Great game understanding from Collapse.
Straight into the pit now as well. Even just with the one member down, with no Sky, no Jin-Kyu, it's still enough that PSG LGD feel that they cannot take this fight. They're letting this go to Spirit.
I feel like the pacing of the game right now, it really does favor Team Spirit. And they expect LGD to make some kind of move to try to break it up. I think they can't just let them farm out this 5-minute Aegis. Expect something to happen before that.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Oh, it's such a calm before the storm kind of moment. I feel like you see Toronto is just slowly farming up his items. I mean, this Ember Spirit's been a beast this event, and he's only 1,000 gold off of his own Aghanim. And then after that comes a shard, and then there's just fire remnants everywhere.
And he hasn't been caught yet this game. 1-0-3. Struggled to contain Toronto Tokyo in this early stage. Also going to have that ED rune ready for the next fight. Late he's going to hurt. Some of these heroes on the back line, they're not going to stand much of a chance at all. Jin-Kyu and why they better be pretty scared. Toronto Tokyo making the jump in on them.
Yeah, the positioning of the supports, it's really, I think, the story of this game, because both front lines are so tanky. I don't really think they're going to go down without the assistance of the supports from both sides. So Miposhka and Mira going up against Y and Jin-Kyu. They both have very, very tough positions to be in. You're going to have Ember remnanting into your backline, chasing the Skywrath, chasing the Enchantress. And at the same time, if Tiny gets on top of you're just dead. If he gets eyes on you, you're gone.
And here's that time. So they've got the Ags ready on Faith Beyond. Ready to make the move here, as you say. They don't want to be held back by the idea that Yatoro's got an Aegis. They want to fight regardless into it.
Yeah, they understand. If we wait too long, then Yatoro's going to be too strong. And here we go. They see him.
Success here. Towards Yatoro. And Poshka, Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse setting up across the cliffside as Y will be the first to get poked upon. See how Team Spirit want to tackle this.
There's a DD on
looking for Octus. Collapse, he's in, instantly caught out by the Ancient Seal, so no skewer to follow. Y
chains back up.
Is there anything they can do to save their Enchantress? I mean, does Y need saving at all? He's going to need to. As the Nightmare holds him back.
Yeah, Wolf Form both used on Lycan as well as Tiny. So this means full reset. Now, Team Spirit are in control of the pace. They get to decide what happens in this game.
Yeah, they could push Aegis, Metamorphosis, ready for use here. Tier 2s could be on the table for Team Spirit.
Looking for some kind of pickoff. They know LGD can't fight back if they get on top of their heroes right now.
They've got their eyes on mid.
Holy shit!
Toro starting to rack up the gold again after the Skadi. 2,800. He's got that butterfly queued up. Knows that they're not going to be wanting to pick up any sort of true strike anytime soon here on the heroes of PSG LGD. The evasion would be huge.
I wonder if it's enough though. I like the idea of the Satanic more. Yeah, he's going for the Satanic. I really like this, because if he can survive the Tiny combo, if he can get through it, you purge off the silence from the Skywrath, you can get one hit off and then Sunder.
Yeah, the spell's beautiful.
Your middle barracks are under attack.
I mean, if you're a Team Spirit fan, you're very happy with the pacing of this game. You saw LGD being unable to use their first timing of the game to really do anything. So if this keeps happening like 2-3 more times, then you're in the late game. And boy, are Team Spirit geared up to take that late game.
Did you notice they're attacking your bottom tower?
Ready for the setup top. Toronto Tokyo, Invis Rune. Ready to go. See if he can get a surprise jump onto PSG LGD. Y. It's the closest right now. Two supports playing up here really. Putting themselves in the most dangerous position whilst the cores We're able to farm on the safer side of the map.
I think Team Spirit are going to look for some sort of smoke for the bottom triangle ward. This is a ward that they usually fight around when they have it, so let's see what they do. It looks like they're moving over. Gem on Miposhka. They understand the importance of the vision this time. And there's no Tombstone this time, right? They don't have that kind of teamfight vision tool on Team Spirit as they did, or sorry, on LGD as they did in the previous 2 games. Now they're relying on the wolves. So having the gem secures you that there's no wolves on top of you. They don't see where you're moving. They don't know what's going on. So great item pickup by Miposhka, understanding the importance of it.
Double kill! Holy shit!
Intense game.
You know the Team Spirit's got the solid jump. PSG, they've got the hard hit. If they can get in with the tiny ball, we're going to see Collapse come in. He's in with the Warthog. He's going to look to separate. Nothing to say for the rest of the team. Fiend Scrim as well, locking down the Kunkka. They get the quick grab. Nothing to say. Out for a minute.
10 seconds on the Aegis, and once again the wolf farms are used, but Am is deciding to retreat. They don't see the opening they want. There's no buyback on the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's hard to fight with one of their most farmed cores right now in the game. They need them all up, really, to tackle Team Spirit head on. There's timing left on the Metamorphosis, so Team Spirit, they can push on. 26 minutes in, starting to take down this tier 2 tower.
Up top, ooh, quick fingers. Jumped away from the stun of the Tiny.
So the fortification is soon to be coming to an end. You see Spirit, they're happy to go for the dives behind the tower. Tokyo is in, and he's found himself Xingqiu.
Great recognition there. You know, Tiny initiates on you top. What does that mean? That means there's no heroes mid to fight. Immediately dives in. Wherever the Tiny is not, Team Spirit have massive freedom to make moves. The Tiny, it's really all about this Tiny. And 2 last wolf forms have not gone PSG LGD's way. In fact, the game is slowly swinging into Team Spirit's favor, and they're kind of getting past that impossible timing of fighting this Tiny.
Or Collapse! He's got another grab! Jumps in, why? He's gone!
Yeah, if you're PSG LGD right now, you really gotta try to find a way to catch Team Spirit off guard. But they have the gem. They're setting up their vision smartly. They're playing around where they can see the dire heroes. If you look at the minimap, look at where they're positioned. Bottom side of the map, 2 hill wards here to cover any sort of entrance that LGD try to make. So they're always aware of what's going on. Very smart positioning on the map here. Team Spirit recognize that as long as we just delay the game, we don't feed, we don't give away anything for free, we're in a good position. Yatoro will carry us.
Double down on sorcery.
It's alright. In position now to maybe push down a threat in another tier 2 tower. We'll see the setup, looking for Toronto Tokyo, but again, he senses something's up and they don't get that catch.
Toro now beating on the bottom tier 2 tower, doesn't get any sort of response.
The next label play.
Means now they expect most of the LGD heroes to be on the top side of the map.
Metamorphosis up in 10 seconds. Can they start to poke the high ground, or how aggressive do you want to get with these pushes?
It's a scary decision to make. I don't envy carry players that have to make this decision at this position in the game, but...
Are they going to make the call to commit? Metamorphosis, it's up for you, Toro. How hard does he want to push it into the base of PSG LGD? Doesn't look like they want to.
I think the idea here is to try to force the LGD heroes back into the base, so that they then can play around their own wards, and then potentially move over to the top side, remove any sort of vision that LGD has, and then get map control that way. And you know, with these illusions pushing safely, your force response.
He looks for the jumper Collapse. He's not able to get the grab back on Nothing to Say. So Nothing to Say. Beacon is up, a mirror holding him for the logo of the Feast. Gets cancelled by the Avalanche. The Winter's Curse coming to a quick end. As PSG LGD now charging on the base. Boko's crashing down onto Mirror. Ancient Seal for now onto Yatoro. He's looking to back up and reset inside the base. Toronto Tokyo. He's diving in. Past the tier 3s. He's able to take out Nothing to Say. Looking at Remnant over to the side. He's got his eyes over towards Y. Or maybe even more actually. He's holding on to that. Not jumping back quite yet. As they've killed off 2. And with 2 dead, they may just have the room here to push up to the high ground. Yatoro, he's stepping up. Still a bit longer of the Metamorphosis left. They're taking this tier 3 tower. There's going to have to be buybacks. Xingqiu back into the game. But a tier 3 taken here. Some damage being done to the Rex as well. No Kunkka for 40 seconds.
Yeah, and no wolf fight.
Collapse. He finds a grab. Jumps in. Drags back on the Skywrath main. Xingqiu. He's got for 70. Another man down on PSG LGD Spirit. They'll keep the push going. You've got to be careful, you know, Collapse is looking for another one. There it is, he's in, drag back on Y. He just can't stop finding them, Collapse. every single time. Pick up, Other, pick up. You can't stand anywhere near Spirit.
No, you absolutely can't. And Yatora's recognizing, you know, I don't have meta. I don't have my strongest spell, but neither do they. And he's just pushing it here. I think they're gonna keep going for this building. They do not seem afraid. There's so much confidence right now in how they're playing. They get the buyback. He's been X-marked, but he has 3,000 HP.
He's so tanky. Sunder, Satanic at the ready if he ever feels threatened.
But look at this. LGD are coming in from behind. They recognize that they can't go on the front line. They need to catch the backline heroes.
They're going to try and go for the easy kill first, or at least the easier, maybe. But no, it's not. TP out there are able to stop it. Arme's in with the combo. They catch the Bane. They need more, though. Nothing to say in the team. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. Miposhka's off into the trees. They won't be able to find him to stop that escape. Team Spirit, they take a Rex, they take a tier 3 in the mid lane. They only end up losing a Bane, pushing them up now to an 8k lead against PSG LGD.
Yep, and once again, both the wolf forms are expended. So do you know what that means? Roshan's available. Metamorphosis is ready in 10 seconds. Team Spirit are going to eye it up.
It's going to get even harder to deal with Yatora now. He's got the full Silver Edge done, so the ability to sort of duck in and out of the fights. He is going to be a right nightmare to deal with. We see Arme's farm not too far behind, but you definitely feel that at the moment, with the timings that they've hit, Spirit as a unit are so much harder to deal with than it is for them to take down PSG LGD.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's reflected in the way that Alma is playing, but he's about to get caught here at the top lane.
There's Collapse, in with the Horn Toss, dropping the RP. The BKB was out in time, he's into the Invis, but the physical, is it going to be enough here from this Terrorblade? Yatora is focusing down Arme, Arme's trying to run, but he can't get away from him. Arme out for 80. They're ready to chase for more. Collapse, skewing in to close the distance onto Xingqiu. They've caught the Skyer. Set up there as well with the curse. They're ready to close up onto Fate Beyond as well. They're going for a third kill here. Skewer from Collapse. Back into the claws of Spirit.
Team Spirit has lasted through the hardest part of the game. Now, everything is theirs. They just need to play this calmly. Don't overextend. Recognize that as long as we play around our own timings, this game is firmly in our grip.
I mean, there's 3 dead. There's no buyback. It's only nothing to say. And why left here for the defense? The Team Spirit. They're onto the tier 4s. Got a fortification. But there's still those long seconds before they get their 2 claws back in the game. PSG LGD.
They're gonna have to try to do something. I don't think they have enough time to wait for Tiny to respawn.
See how carefully Team Spirit play it.
Goes back.
There's still 20 seconds, no Arme. They can push. They can push his Spirit. They don't need a back. 20 seconds without Arme. They're going to look for more grabs before they close it up. Jump off for Collapse. Xingqiu goes down. Nothing to say as well. HX point, nothing to say, has a buyback. 8 seconds until Arme with the Ancient. They're looking to close it up.
They're
they can taste the championship. They can taste the money, but the backdoor protection kicks in. The backdoor protection is in. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. PSG LGD, they'll start now to force Spirit back out the base. Miposhka will get himself out with a blink. They just need to reset Spirit.
They're trying to get out. Faith Beyond's on top of Mira, though.
Got the curse. Holding back the Lycan. Why? Being a bit of a nuisance off to the side. Gets the impetus onto Mira, but why? Chased down by Collapse. You saw it, they've got him. Toronto Tokyo, low on mana. James holds it back, but now with the BKB armor. Straight back in with the Remnant. Gets instantly caught out with the Torrent. With the silence as well. Jump forward. Collapse. BKB. Stewart back. Into the clutch of the Yatora. Yatora. They're going to be able to lock him down with the RP. Where's the detection?
No detection.
They need to see him. They don't get to see him. Oh my, he's going to live. He's going to turn towards Beerus. He's still very low here. And then with Slide Chain, they get him. They finish him off. Oh, nothing to say.
What a TP.
What a TP. He's out, he's alive!
So, no buyback on Toronto Tokyo, no buyback on Facial, no buyback on Alme.
Oh my goodness!
There is a Roshan.
There is!
Oh, I thought that was going to be it.
I mean, it was so close. But the backdoor protection kicks in. PSG, they're able to pull together a defense. They lose their tier 4s. But the Ancient still stands.
Yep, Satanic used, Sunder as well. You can feel the nerves. I can feel it. It's just so much on the line. Just one Sentry Ward could have won them the game there, but support's unfortunately not able to get into range.
Let's see what they can do around this pit. They're still down 16k PSG LGD, but they've got all their ults up.
Can they make any sort of steal? They've already managed to set up here onto the Kunkka. They're going to go straight to it. Yatora coming in with the BKB. The Curse holds back arm out the side. Nothing to say. He's going to go down. Out for 110. Yatora's ready to step over to his next target. He's looking over towards Arme. Collapse. Popping the BKB. And Miposhka keeping himself alive with the cold embrace. Spirit. They'll turn over towards Arme, but Arme's still got the BKB to go. He's killed off another support. He's looking at Toronto Tokyo. Toronto Tokyo finds somebody else. He's got another remnant. Slide this into the remnant of the high ground. He's away. They're sneaking around in the covered silver edges, watching one another.
Metamorphosis now, but so is the two wolf forms. Both teams taking it safe right now. But look at why. Oh, on the cliff.
Why?
Dude, look at how carefully they're playing it. They're scared to walk up here and try to kill him.
Watch, like, oh, they got him.
There we go.
They'll take him off the cliff.
But look at Roche!
Oh,
it's killing Roche!
Oh, no, he can't do it, surely. They can't try and collapse. He's got his eyes on him. Still nothing to say or white, but 50 seconds. He's gone in alone. That was a risky move. He's got the back of a Shin-Q. But Spirit, they're going to chase on. Slight chase. Arme is gone. 2 minutes, no Tiny. Ancient exposed. Spirit, they'll make the walk over towards the Ancient.
They're not waiting for the creeps.
They're ready to close it this time. Only 2 left. Can they stop a PSG LGD? I don't think they can. GQ's got it. It's over.
GG.
It's over. GG. They've got it. They have done it. Team Spirit. They come into the grand finals. 2 games straight up. They take them away from PSG LGD. Game 3 and Game 4. PSG LGD, they hit back. But the Game 5, even though they get knocked out in 3 and 4, Spirit, they come back with the same skill and ability that's taken them this whole road to the grand finals. And what a road it has been. They take down Fnatic, OG, VP, IG, Secret, and now in a best of 5 at the grand finals, the International 10, they defeat PSG LGD, arguably the favourites coming into the tournament.
Absolutely, and they don't just defeat any PSG LGD. They beat PSG LGD playing their best draft. This was all the heroes that PSG LGD wanted. Like Seb touched on, Lycan, Tiny, they invented this. This was the most dominant combo of this tournament, and they beat it. They figured out how to beat it, and they beat the best team at playing it.
I mean, it's insane as well. 4 of them, their first TI.
That's crazy.
Yatoro, Toronto, Tokyo, Collapse, Spirit the first time. They've been on the TI main stage. Miposhka, he's been it before, but only top 8 this time. Leading the boys to the championship title and taking home $18 million in Sadia.
It's unbelievable. I know before this tournament I was streaming and people would ask me like, where do you think Team Spirit are gonna place? And I honestly said, on a good day, if everything goes your way, maybe top 6. I never saw this coming. Not in a million years. What an unbelievable performance.
What a story, what a road, what a dream here to have achieved. The Spirit, they'll claim the Aegis. Ladies and gentlemen, your International 10 champions, Team Spirit.
Generation. The enemy's middle tower has fallen. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified. Oh, you just smashed the enemy's middle tower. The enemy's middle tower just ran aground.
Hello, Miposhka! Congratulations on just ask, you are the captain of a team who has with 4 players who have never played at a TI. How did your team come together and become so strong?
It's all because of our manager Corbin. He made this team. He invited me and already a good start.
They're about to take some pictures.
But I don't know. It's just because we did a lot of work, hard work. Also, we had a bootcamp before that international, and that was the hardest bootcamp I ever had. So. Actually, I don't know. It just happens.
It just happens. He said the manager. He said the boot camp. He said the team. It just happens. Now, you and your teammates are you're so young. And this is only the beginning. What is next for you?
I have no idea, actually. I don't even know what to say. So I have no idea. Maybe we're gonna think about this later, but right now I